Welcome to Perfectly Twisted. New year, new you. I think I can guess the answer to this, but do you do New Year's resolutions?
No, I'm not going to get into why I don't, because it's depressing, but I used to. I'll just say that, and then I don't anymore. It's every day is a new day. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
In my mind, I usually will say, okay, I'm going to do this, try not to eat as much sugar or eat less or work out more like everyone else. But no, every day is a new day.
Same.
You?
I mean, I feel like,
Oh,
well, I feel like if anybody's gonna do like a New Year's resolution, shouldn't it be on your birthday?
yeah. You know what? You're exactly right. Never thought of it that way. You're exactly right. It should be on your birthday.
I
That's
mean,
funny.
if you
No,
had to do a New Year, like
yeah.
a reset on a yearly basis, I felt like, why isn't it your birthday? But listen, I'm not
You
one
know,
for them either. Because as soon as you tell me to do something, I'm not going to do it. As soon as and I'm a huge commitment phobe anyways. Like I've been trying to
yeah.
purchase new bed sheets for my bed. I cannot make a decision or commit to save my life. And I'm just ridiculous. So yeah, it would be tomfoolery of me to even think that I was going to set a New Year's resolution.
Okay, hold on. So you are not an impulse person at all, like impulse buys. Like I get caught in this, and I'll go through Instagram, and I'm like, hey, I need that, or I might as well try it. I'll look at it, go, it's only $18 or $19, and of course, when you go to shipping, it's $31. And I buy it, and I buy all these crazy things. Hardly any of them work, or they're the wrong sizes. But I impulse buy all the time. It's really a bad habit. I'm a sucker.
You know, I try not to, and I feel like anytime I do, I always regret it.
Yeah.
So, like I bought a pair of boots not too long ago, and here's my thing. If I don't love it and I'm not immediately putting them on or like trying to wear them out the store, I'm probably never going to wear them. And I ended up returning them. They sat in a box on my floor for like 2 weeks. And I was like, do I, don't I? Do I, don't I? And then I was like, no, if you're even questioning this was an impulse buy. Go get your $300 back. And shut up, just no. So I feel like I do less and less of that because I can be pretty practical, believe it or not. I can be practical in that, do I really need this? If something pops up on my Instagram and it's something that I've been looking for and they
Yeah.
know I've been looking for it, sometimes I'll fall into that. But no, I do my research. I need to sleep on things. I explore my options. Like I'm a pain in the ass. I drag my feet. I get it from my father. Like,
Really.
yeah.
I got to tell you, I think as you're talking, I'm like, what is the most ridiculous thing I've bought, like on impulse? It's a big list, but I think the most ridiculous thing that I have, it's in between the seats of my car right now, and I don't know why I bought this thing. It was a video of when your car goes into the water and you can't get your window down and you can't open the door because of the pressure. That it's this thing that you hit against the window and it shatters the glass and you swim to the top. Nicole, I never drive near water. Like I'm never falling in the water. You know what I'm saying? The chances of me get caught up in a flash flood aren't good because I actually have a brain in my head that knows not to sit there and drive through standing water or going through, an area of LA or San Diego where it's going to flood. I'm not going to be that guy that goes, I think I can make it. I don't know why I bought that goddamn thing. I don't even, anyone who's in my house, who's in my family, I even told what it does. Like, hey, in case this happens to you, because I know they aren't dumb enough to do it either, but I bought it. Like, why would I buy that shit?
Well, in your defense on that one, you would only need to use it once. That's like a one. If you needed it one time in your life, it was well worth the purchase. You never know if you could be on a road trip and you get into an accident and you somehow fly off a bridge into some water and yeah, you need to get out. I mean, literally,
I'll
that's one
panic
of
and forget I had it.
those things. Yeah. That's pretty funny. You know
Damn
what
it.
I thought you were gonna say? Because I just saw, I clicked on it and watched the video, is these things that go in between your seats, and you
Oh
can
yeah.
put, like, your phone there so that things don't fall into that abyss. That's what I thought you
Yes.
were gonna say, is that yeah,
You know
but
what, though?
I
Here's
did
the
not.
sad thing, Nicole.
Huh.
It's
Do you
not
have
me
those?
about worrying about the phone falling. It's all about catching the lettuce from the soft tacos at Taco Bell. That's all I care about. Because I like that once that lettuce falls in, I'm like, it's there till I sell the car. But
Yeah.
I'm like, that thing might catch the lettuce from Taco Bell. I've thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. I did buy one thing that didn't come in this year, and I bought it in October. It was the Christmas bags that you wrap your gifts in. So you put the stuff in the gifts, you pull it tight like a trash bag you'd keep in your kitchen,
A
and it
drawstring.
looks like drawstring, and it looks like you wrapped it. It looks pretty good. They never came in. I think I spent like $60 on this. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I hate wrapping gifts. This is gonna be awesome. And they're gonna come in. Yep.
Never came in, huh? Wow.
Yeah.
Are you gonna dispute
Yeah.
that, or are you just gonna let that $60
What am
go
I
to
gonna do?
scammers?
Fight with the Chinese government? I mean, that's that's
No, you call
what
your
am I
bank,
gonna do?
and you say, "I got
Yeah.
scammed," and then they reimburse you, and then they do all the
Yeah.
legwork.
All right. Now that's something interesting that you just said right there. Anyone who has not been scammed yet, like I have been scammed. I bought a dog once online and got scammed. And the reason is I paid with a debit card, not a credit card. And I literally lost like $2,500. This was
Woo.
about 6 years ago. And the bank can't do anything about it. If you use your debit card to, say, you're insured. You are not insured on your debit, your credit, you are, or through Zelle, any of those. The money's lost, you know. But
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that because I just recently had to go through that, and I don't have a credit card. I only have a debit card, and I was getting, I was noticing, like, these reoccurring payments from something, and I was like, I don't even own that product. I don't even know what this is or how I got signed up for this. So I called them, and they said, "Oh, you've been paying for it for 7 months." And I said, "Well, dear God." And they said, "Don't worry, we'll reimburse you, and we'll dispute it." And sure enough, they
oh,
and it was through
oh, see,
my
not
I
me.
only
Yeah, not
scammers,
me.
close your
Actually,
ears. I only have a debit card. If I don't have the
okay,
money, I don't buy it. I
yeah,
don't put anything on a credit card. I mean, I have a
smart,
credit card. I don't use it. I don't enter it online.
smart.
I have it.
So
Yeah, I just have it to build
you
credit.
you've seen the movie Catch Me If You Can, correct?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it? Okay. So the
Yeah.
guy who it's a real if you ever seen the movie, it's a true story. Everybody knows. It's fascinating. The guy always says the only thing you should ever pay with is a credit card. And he goes, it's the only thing that you're protected with. He goes, I pay for everything with a credit card every time. And he goes, whether you build up hotel points, whatever you want to do, cash back. But anyway, that's the way it went. But I understand your thinking. My mom's kind of like you, where and not calling you old. My mom does the if you don't have it, you don't buy it. And so my parents used to always be the ones that always paid with cash everywhere they went, cash, cash, cash. It was, and they didn't even like the idea of a debit card, but it would always, we go out, stop at the bank, pull cash out at the teller, by the way, because they weren't going to use a debit card. It was ridiculous. And everything had to be cash all the time. Otherwise, you didn't buy it. And that's just always the way they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just feel like credit cards can get you into trouble. It's like, "Oh, I'll buy it now and pay later." And here I go again with, like, my buyer's remorse, and I do all that. So yeah, if I can't afford it, like, right now, do I really need it? And I just yeah, it's kind of a rule of thumb, and I have credit cards just to build credit, which I had done amazing with, by the way. I'm very proud of myself. Um, I did a great job with raising my credit score the past year and a half, 2 years. But so I don't know if it's because debit cards now have the Visa on it, but you're fully
Yeah.
protected. I even purchased something online, a service online, put in my debit card number on a website and disputed it and got my money back, and they handled it. So that might have been something that used to be true and might not be true
Yeah.
anymore. Or
6
maybe
years
it's my
ago, I got
bank.
taken. Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
ever been
do it.
scammed from your debit card? Like whenever I go to not say whenever, 4 times I've been to Phoenix and I got caught when I bought gas with the debit card. There was one of those scanners on the back that got my
Oh,
card, and I had to cancel my card, and then all of a sudden you're stuck in a different state because when you call the bank and go, "Hey, what's going on?" or they call you, they cancel the card immediately. You're in another state. You still need money to eat. You need money to get home. So, the way around it was I have a Target card and I would go to Target and you could withdraw $40 at a time. And
okay.
that's how I got the money to pay for gas to get home. But 4 times in Phoenix, I have been scammed by those scanners. This is before the whole tap thing. You slide the card in and then they get your information. Has that ever happened to you?
Knock on wood. No, it has
Knock
not.
on wood.
It did happen to my daughter once at a local gas station. Now, the good thing now, like you say with the tap, so if you have to cancel your card, they can immediately give you an electronic new card
Yeah.
immediately, so you're not ever without your bank card. But yeah, those were the days. I remember one time what I did do like an idiot, and thank God a police officer pulled up behind me after and found it, or a good Samaritan, I don't know, but I got it back from a police officer. I left my entire wallet on top of a pump on a road trip.
Yeah.
The whole shebang, the whole goddamn thing. And the wallet was probably worth more than what was in the wallet.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be stranded without your license or any kind of cards. And this was before tap. And yeah, I left the whole damn thing. But I got a call and I didn't even realize I had left it. Like, stupid.
Wow.
And yeah, my mom was like, you left your wallet. Somebody contacted me and you left your wallet. So yeah, I got it back. But
Did you get a
that's the
lecture?
one great thing about technology, right? Is that
Yeah.
they can scam you really easy, but it's also really easy to get it all right back.
Yeah. That's true.
You don't have
That's
to
true.
wait for your bank card in the mail anymore. It's immediately right back into your Apple Wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So
Did you have a good holidays with the whole family in town?
yeah, it was okay. I mean, next. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, to be completely honest with
Oh
you.
no. Did you
Completely
let
exhausted.
how did the driving lessons and everything go during
We didn't
break?
do it. We ended up didn't do any of that. It was a torrential downpour like the entire
That's true.
time. So it was like, yeah, but the holidays were a long time ago at this point. Um,
Yeah.
but
It was 10
I do
days
have a
ago, but
product.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 17 by the time this airs.
Yeah.
I do have a great product alert, which is something I was gifted for Christmas that I wanted. And, the kids are always like, what do you want for Christmas? And it's like, do you not pay attention to anything? We spend every day,
Yeah.
all day together. But, I remember those days too. I never knew what to get my parents. So there is this company, Hourglass, and this is their box, their packaging. I got their foundation brush. I got the slanted one, and I was going back and forth between the flat round one and the slanted one, and I've been using a flat round one, and I'm really glad I took the leap, ladies. If you're not already doing this, I do have a slanted one already that I use, but I use it for like powder and concealer. This one's just bigger and it's for your foundation. I highly recommend this brush. Brushes are an investment, Dave, and when you buy a good one, you take care of it. They last a long time, because if you buy cheap ones, they break. Their application's not that great. The bristles break off and get stuck in your makeup and in your eyes. But this one, and it's weighted, it has a great like weighted handle. $50, which is not crazy for a makeup brush that you're going to use all the time. So if you are in the market for a new foundation brush, and if you like the flat and you want to stick to the flat,
Yeah.
they make one of those too, and they both seem fantastic. I'm just really glad I got this one to get like around the nose and around my hairline, under my eye, around the areas. And I feel like it was a lot less messier when I was using just the round one. I feel like my lips were covered in foundation, my eyebrows were covered in foundation. It really got full coverage. This one I can try to kind of avoid some of those areas. It's a little bit more precise, which I really enjoy. So I'm really loving this brush. So again, if you are looking for one, Hourglass, I got it. You can get it at Sephora. You can buy them online, but don't be fooled by the dupes. And
Yep.
$50. Yeah, great investment. I really like the way it feels. It's very pretty and all of those good things. So, what
You
did
know
you get
what?
for
Okay.
Christmas?
You know what? I had a crazy Christmas. It was my son Josh. Was extremely generous with everybody, with his wife, with my wife, with me. Um, it's weird. I'm to the point, and I've been this way for a long time, and I'm sure you're the same. It's you feel better giving the gifts. You feel awkward receiving gifts. It's nice to receive. When you're a kid, you just like, all right, it's all about me. The older you get, the more joy you feel giving to someone that you really care about, someone you love. He was extremely generous. So with me, he got me baseball trips. Him and I see these ballparks every year. We're trying to see all 30. We're close to 20. And the cities aren't great, but they're on the tour. We're supposed to go to Detroit. The next day we're driving to Cleveland. The next day we're going to Pittsburgh. So not 3 great cities in the United States, but 3 great ballparks that we want to see. And we know people basically in all those cities that we're going to get a chance to see. So I knew that was coming, but at the same time, it's really my favorite part of the year. And then he ended up also buying a trip to Italy for my wife and for myself for 2 weeks in September.
Oh,
And that made her cry. She's been asking
yeah.
me for 34 years, 36 years, I guess, basically been together to go to Italy. And that's where she's from. And she cried. And that was cool to see. And then he follows it up with tickets to see the Rose Bowl last week in Pasadena to see Alabama, which is where he played football, play, and they got the shit kicked out of them. But well, that wasn't the point. I got a chance to see a Rose Bowl game. I've never seen one. And so he was extremely generous with everybody. It was one we will never forget. It was just like, man, this is a lot of time and a lot of money that he threw into the people he cares most about, which was extremely nice. But it was,
Yay,
it was, it
Josh.
was, yeah, seriously.
Well, I
Um,
have a question for you, mister.
yeah.
Why has it taken your wife this long and she didn't even get it from you? She got it from her son? Dave,
You know what?
what is
Because
going on here?
yeah,
Explain.
it's the one thing I'll say that she has the argument of, I can't believe I stayed with you this long, kind of a deal. Is her family's from Italy. Her parents are both from Italy before they came to the United States. The Italian's their first language. My wife's fluent in Italian. She has 4 siblings. They go all the time, like yearly, back to Italy. She could have dual citizenship if she wants it. She hasn't pushed on me to go as much because I coach so much, and now I'm to the point I coach kids that aren't my own. And so, because in the summertime is when is my opportunity to help kids get scholarships to colleges. And so I was like, I can't go. This is when I have my meetings with the coaches of other teams to showcase kids to get a scholarship to a college. And so I invest my time, and she lets me invest my time into baseball. And so she's been patient. And so I figured out the whole September thing. Now, look, between you and me, and she won't listen to this show. I picked September for a big reason. One is the World Series is in October. Now, you know me as a Dodger fan. You think I'm missing the World Series for Italy? You're out of your fucking mind. There's no way. Okay, so I timed that out. And also, I didn't want to go when all the tourists were going to be there in August and before, where it's going to be hot and everything else. I wanted to kind of wait for the tourists to leave. And I don't want to go somewhere I'm going to burn up and be uncomfortable. So I figured September was
Yeah.
the perfect month. That's why I picked September. But there was a method to my choice on that month.
Got it.
Selfish. You could say it. Selfish as
Selfish.
hell. That's
Yeah.
what I ended up doing. That's what I did. Now I got to tell you this. I got to ask you about your Christmas if you want to share. But I went to Las Vegas last week, and I haven't been to Las Vegas in probably 7 years. And went through Caesar's Palace, the Forum shops, the whole deal. If anyone's been to Vegas, it's you go through. Now there's a Tom Ford store there. Okay. And I've heard about this cologne that Tom Ford sells, and it's supposed to be the number 1 cologne. I know it's expensive, and I was like, I gotta smell this thing. Like, is all these write-ups about Tom Ford's cologne. and I go and they have probably about 6 different kinds, but I go, what's the most popular one? The bottle, Nicole, would fit in the palm of my hand. I mean, easily I could put it in my hand and put my fingers around it, and you wouldn't even see I have a bottle in my hand. $399 a bottle. $399. And I'm like, wow. And so maybe I just don't know how much cologne costs or perfume costs.
Yeah.
But I was amazed by the price of this thing. And so, the guy said, I said, can I smell it? And he goes, you want it on your body or do you want to put it on paper? I go, dude, put it on me. Like I got it. I want to see what it smells like all day long. It didn't smell bad. It was fine. They do sell one that smells like a leather jacket, which was crazy to me. I'm like, it just smells like a leather jacket. Why would anybody buy this shit? But they spray it on me, and I'm walking around, and I go, I know this sounds crazy what I'm going to say, and I would relate it back to you because I'm sure you got hit on as in a ton in the 80s. I'm telling you, back in 1983, when guys my age first discovered cologne, there was nothing better than Drakkar. And I said,
oh my God,
you can't buy Drakkar now.
Cologne, cool water. Yeah. And there was,
oh my God, it was Drakkar No Air or Polo Cologne. Everyone, they just didn't know how much to put on. But I remember guys like in 7th grade, and we're, all over, and we're like, God dang, you smell great. Like guys turn themselves on by putting this stuff on. But I'm like, you can't buy it now. And then Josh sends me a picture. I told Josh the story. He sends me a picture on Amazon. You go back for like $39. And I was laughing. I go, if I put that on and walked out of the house, people would go, what the fuck? Are you wearing Drakkar? What's wrong with you? But anyway, I just going $3.99 a bottle was insane. What seemed insane to me.
Perfume and cologne are very expensive, and they're making a comeback because they were sort of out of trend for a while. And they're making a comeback. I am not a fan. They all give me a headache. They just, the alcohol content in it or whatever is in there. And they're just unhealthy and all of the things but they're making a huge comeback and you will spend a pretty penny.
Now, women's perfume must be insane too, price wise. When I say $3.99 a bottle,
yeah,
is that
for sure?
you have all different.
Yes, there's all different levels. And God, my daughter wanted the Billie Eilish. Luckily, she couldn't make up her mind, and so she got the little mini trio set. But let me look up.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's expensive. Billie Eilish perfume. Here it is. So the little mini one is 60. So hers is about 90.
Okay.
70, one is 70, one is 90. So that's not that bad. But for a teenager, excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah. It's how big of a deal is it not to have the same perfume as one of your friends? Like, is it a no-go?
If you all smell the same? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. I prefer to not smell like everybody else, but I think that everybody naturally always has their own scent or their own. And I think that the same perfume will smell differently on different body chemistries too. So it does take on your personality and your body odor.
True.
They definitely smell differently on everybody. So there's that. And now what's really on trend is layering. So like the Billie Eilish, for example, so they'll try to sell you two, and this is where they get you, that they smell really good together.
Oh,
so that's a big trending thing to do, is layering on scents. And I do it, but I do it with like essential oils, like I do it with natural things. But yeah, layering has become a thing. So get ready to spend double.
It's genius. It's genius. Did you have a nice Christmas though?
It was okay. I'd rather not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to get into it. It's just great that to me it was that you were lucky to have, both daughters at the same time, and you're in LA. I'm sorry it rained. I didn't even think about it. You're right. It rained a ton.
Oh, it did not stop. It didn't stop till yesterday. It's
Yeah.
been just nonstop dreary raining, but we needed it. I don't want to hear any drought talk this summer. I don't want to. We better not have any wildfires. Like this better be well deserved. You know.
I got you. I got you. I got you. All right, got to ask you two reality TV questions that are on my mind. One is,
Okay.
I'm starting with Vanderpump. Are you watching the new Vanderpump, or are you giving up on the new Vanderpump?
I am watching. I mean, we're only 3 episodes in. I didn't make it to the new one last night. I did pass
Okay.
out. I watched Salt Lake, and then I was so excited. New Vanderpump is on, and that the next thing I woke up to my alarm this morning. So I didn't watch the new one last night. But I mean, I'm giving it a shot. I feel like
I am
there's a
too.
couple things that are bothering me about Vanderpump because what they're saying now is like that restaurant, Sir, is just a backdrop. Like it's not really like a working restaurant anymore. They use it more as like a set, which takes a lot of
Okay.
the energy out. I feel like
Yeah.
there's energy missing from it, and like there's like a character missing because it's empty. There's nobody there but
Yeah.
them, and then like a few tables that they set with people. So I feel like all that hustle and bustle and the stakes are not there, of like doing your
Yeah.
job. Well, they don't need to do their job because there's no job to really be done, and I think it's sort of showing, and I think that's sort of a problem.
Wow.
But what are your thoughts?
Um, I'm watching. It's one of my worst habits is I don't give up on TV shows. That should be a New Year's resolution for me is if it's
Give
not
up.
working, get away from it. Whether it's a book, whether it's a TV show, but I always have to finish everything. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm too old to watch this show. Like it kind of feels weird. Like I feel like these kids, I call them kids. I call everyone younger than me a kid, and it's not as an insult. I just feel like, man, I maybe I'm too old. I don't like anybody on the show. I just straight out not a fan. There's some people I really dislike, and I'm not really a fan of anybody on the show.
I agree, and I also get really frustrated with and I forget their age. I forget how young they are, and I'm like, "Well, what did you expect?" Like, to be honest, like,
You sound like a
what did
mom
you
right
expect
there.
out of this dude, right? Yeah, like,
Yeah,
look at him. Like
yeah,
the one guy, the
yeah,
short guy with the big eyebrows who
yeah.
should be so lucky to have gone out on a date with the pretty young girl. I don't even know any of their names. This is how bad it is for me. And I just yeah, it's like part of me is like to her, what do you expect? And you're way too good to be going out with him in the first place. So learn your lesson, learn it quick. Let's get
Yeah,
this over with. But it doesn't look like it because it looks like she goes out with the other doucher pretty quickly here
yeah,
on the show. And and the guys, it's like, who do you think you are? Like what I just like the balls to think that you can just go around treating, especially good girls like that so poorly. It's disgraceful, and it's everything that I think LA is turned into, and it's just yeah, I don't like it. It's sort of icky and
yeah.
played and very predictable, and yeah, a
I'm
lot of
with you.
immaturity going on that show, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. And all my friends, outside of you that watch these shows have given up on this one and kind of surprised that I've stayed with it. And so I decided it's just my habit of staying with it. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious to know what the people who were formerly on the show think. I mean, obviously they're going to be critical because they were the originals and they had success and but they're to the point where they aged out too, for that kind of show, they kind of
yeah.
aged out.
Well, I do the
Yeah.
only one I like is Venus, and he's the only one I know is their name.
Yeah.
And I like him because I think that he's honest. I think he's pretty organic, and I think he's a good person. So, I like what he does for the show because he can stir the pot a little bit without, being gross. And he's like the one redeeming part of the show for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Salt Lake. I want to get to that one because as we do this show today, yesterday was the season finale. That was kind of wild, like
I
almost like my mouth dropped open wild. You know?
Yeah. Like I thought it was like they were this close to having like a come to Jesus moment.
Yes. This close. Almost fixed
This
it.
close.
Yep.
This close, and then all of a sudden I had no idea what anybody was talking about. Like they can switch it so quickly because they all of a sudden they get really vulnerable and they get caught in the moment on this episode, and then it's almost like they realize they're being too honest.
Yeah.
And then they start like backtracking. They start going like, wait a minute, no, I just because they really were being after that play that just called them out so perfectly, and just, it was so brutally honest and objectively honest, and they all got a taste of it, and they all got to see how everybody else sees them, and they were in it, and then all of a sudden they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? There was because all of a sudden I was like, I blinked, and all of a sudden it all went haywire again.
Yeah. It was about to go, this group's about to be fixed, and then no. That play was like almost amazing, and it was uncomfortable to watch because you're sitting there going, man, this is like you're getting slammed right in your face of what everyone in the room thinks about you.
Yeah.
And then it was wild, you know. I don't even know what to say on that whole deal. What do you think? I mean, you've been around a ton of people. What do you think's honestly going on with Meredith?
I have no idea. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
if they all are genuinely concerned, then there's something to be concerned about because apparently this thing on the airplane obviously happened. I mean, we have
Yeah.
to sit back and go, at what point. And I think I think it was Heather that said to her, it has to be someone said to her, has to be one of the three things. Either you black out, don't remember, B, you're just lying, and I forget what C the other option was. Oh, you're gaslighting. So,
Yeah.
and I feel like they're right. One of those has to be true because they can't all stand on all 10 toes saying this happened. She was screaming, she was being a bully, and we've seen her do it.
Yep.
We see her when she like loses it and she can't stop and she just goes in hard. So if she was doing that and thinking she wasn't, going to ever get caught for doing it, I would imagine she could be pretty scary. And then when Bronwyn says, you came to me last night and asked me what was said at that lunch, and she's like, absolutely not. That never happened. It's the way she goes so to the defense that's like, huh.
Yeah.
If you go, I didn't mean it like that, or yeah, I was curious. I wanted to know if you guys were talking about me. I'm feeling a little bit ganged up on. I would feel more sympathy for her. But when she immediately goes to that did not happen, black and white,
Yeah.
then you sit there and you go, either she doesn't remember at all any of these conversations, or she is gaslighting. Because if you don't remember, aren't you also maybe prone to go, oh my gosh, did I say that? Like you still might be a little bit like, oh, we've all had those moments in our lives at some point where you're like, did I say that? Oh my God, was I
Yeah.
really, we've all been there. So I feel like something is seriously disconnected. And I don't know if like she is getting blackout and then doesn't want to admit, right? Like she's just so on the defense of it. That would to me point signs to being a problem, right? If she doesn't want to go,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I was blackout. I don't remember. Did I say that? That's kind of when you go, oh, is there an issue? Because if there's not an issue and you get blackout, you would say, oh my
Yeah.
God, I was totally blackout. I don't remember. But I don't want to be someone to be pointing fingers like that because I'm not there. But if all the women are saying that, because I don't think we've seen her show behavior of blackout intoxication. I don't think we've
No.
seen it, or at least I haven't. She always looks a little crazy. She always,
Yeah.
when she talks, she's a little cray, and get a couple cocktails in her, and her voice and everything is always cray. But I don't know, and I feel like only these women could be the judge of that because they're the ones that are there and see
Yeah.
everything, and if they're all concerned, including Mary, because, again, here we go with the Mary being the voice of reason, is that if Mary's saying it's true and Mary's worried, you know,
Yeah.
that I feel like I tend to lean that way. And then the whole thing with them seeing her husband Seth in New York with another woman. I
Yeah.
mean, he very well could have been on a
Business
a
trip.
business thing for sure. But then why wouldn't Meredith turn around and go, "Yeah, he told me he saw you, and he was at a business dinner." Why would it be such a big
Yeah.
deal? It shouldn't be a big deal if it's nothing.
That's what messed everything up, by the way, when I was trying to think, what was it that looked like they're headed in the right direction, is when she dropped that line, your husband, Seth, ran into him in New York. That's when everything kind of like shook the room of back to where now we're back to being assholes again. That was maybe not the right time to deliver that moment. Um, yeah, I can't figure out. I mean, honestly, I don't know the answer. And I'm like, is she bipolar? Is she, to accuse someone of being a pill popper is always dangerous, and they did that to her. It's weird. We've gone through the whole season and kind of don't have an answer of what's happening with her. Yet, they all have something. I mean, you heard that there was one, there's a couple on there who's no longer together, right? No longer, they're separated. And um Whitney's marriage seems on the rocks too, and you just sit there and not surprised. It's amazing through all these shows, by the way, that people to me sign up going, I want to be part of the show. Number one, it pays a little bit, it gives you fame, but at the same time, there's a very good chance you're going to risk your marriage through this thing. It happens all the time with these marriages are going to fall apart, and people are willing to go, I'm in. Sign me up, I'm in.
Yeah. I think with Whitney and her husband too, a lot of that is financial stress, right? Like they
Yeah,
say nothing will tear up a marriage like financial stress. And she openly admits she went and spent all of their money and lost it. So I'm
yeah,
sure that there's a lot of stress there in the home. But back to your point of, was it the right time for Bronwyn to bring up the dinner that she saw Seth on? But it kind of was to me the right time. Maybe her delivery was a little off. But it was the right time because they were saying, is there a problem in the marriage?
yeah. You're right. You're right.
So if they were bringing up, and these shows, they hit below the bell all the time, but it's like, if we were talking and we're on the subject of asking if there's problems in the marriage, yeah, maybe it was her delivery that was poor, but I
Yeah,
felt like it had to be the right time to say, well, I saw him in New York with another woman. Maybe she should have done it privately. But you have to look at Bronwyn too, because I thought she got the most vulnerable when she said, I have a hard time being loyal because I also don't feel like I've experienced any loyalty in my life. So I therefore don't know how to be loyal. Like I felt
yeah,
like she really, like it really got her, and she really did some self examining in that very quickly in that moment, and some realization and some admission and some like aha moments. And then we see the teaser for the reunion, and her husband are separated. So maybe,
yeah.
if anything came out of it, maybe Bronwyn's going to learn to stand on her own and maybe do some self-searching and figure that issue out for herself, because she does put up with a lot of shit from that man. I mean, that man is
Sure
not
does.
gentle. He is
No.
he's harsh, right? Like
Yeah.
talk about bad deliveries. Like he's just, yeah, he's not easy.
No, it's no, he's definitely not. This is one of those where they said the first of a three-part reunion, and I'm like, this definitely needs to be a three-part. Like I'm excited this is gonna be a three-part coming up. It's not it doesn't feel like they're gonna be trying to just fill time. This is gonna be good. And you saw, there's a scene where Andy walks off the set where the girls are talking. Speaking of that, when they got kicked out of that restaurant in Greece, I was happy to see it. It was one of my favorite parts. Like
I know.
you guys completely disrespect people all the time, and they weren't going to take your shit, you know. And
Well,
and then now get out.
but what I found so funny about it is the one time they were alone on a patio.
Yeah.
and they got kicked out. Usually they're in a restaurant full of other patrons.
People.
Usually this is
Yeah.
like, and you would expect this to have happened so many times in the past, but the one time they have a patio all to themselves, they're like, no, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found that so ironic and so funny because yeah, they were outside and alone. And and
She said
that's when
5
they
more
got
minutes.
kicked out.
No, he's telling you now. There's no 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. No,
She
you're out
was in
now.
shock, her face. She could
Yeah.
not believe. Yeah, they had to laugh because, yeah, how has
Oh
that
my
not
gosh.
ever happened before? How was that a first?
That was great. That was
That
absolutely
was
great. Oh
really
my
good.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's too funny. All right. Do you want to grab to your mailbag?
Let's do it.
Okay. Again, Nicole's mailbag. If you have a question for Nicole, all you have to do is write in. It's a perfectlytwistedpod.com. And Nicole's mailbag's at the top right side of the screen, and you can get your questions in. These right here, I have a bunch of them written down. This one, I'm going to start with Madison. Madison says, Nicole, if you were to be remembered for one thing, what do you want it to be?
Well, that changes. That changes all the time because as I go through different phases in my life, I feel like different important things happen. So, I want I feel like I want to be known as somebody who persevered, who got through, who just kept getting back up through it all. I
That's
think
cool.
that that's basically at the end of the day, and always questioning authority, always questioning everything, to not just be compliant, with everything, sort of to be a little bit of a rebel in that sense of always ask the wise.
Yeah, it's good. All right, Nicole, do you notice someone else's eye color?
Generally, yeah. Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, because I look at people in the eyes.
I
You
look them
know,
in the eyes
um,
too. I don't know anyone's eye color. I'm so bad at this. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't do this. I don't know what that says about me. It's
what
crazy.
you look at them in the eyes, but you don't notice their eye color?
Ever. I just make an effort in my brain, look them in the eyes. That's but I can't. I never take away eye color. Like my wife knows everyone's eye color of every person she knows.
Interesting. I don't know if I would go that far, but, if somebody's got, like, a really distinct eye color, I'm definitely gonna remember. I
Yeah.
try to look people in the eyes and, like, observe. I always do this thing too where it's like, they always say it's like the windows to the soul.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how have I been such a bad character, judge a character my whole life? And
Me too.
right. And I sit there and I go, and so I try to look in people's eyes and go, is this a good person or bad person? And so if there's like something and this person is bad, I'm like, I need to look in their eyes and like, what am I not noticing? Like, how do I don't know that I generally always get. Sure, there's certain circumstances where you get a feeling you're like someone has really kind eyes or someone has really like steely weird eyes, but there's an in between that I don't see. I don't see it.
To me, one of the funniest things is, and I've been in rooms with people, they do it, I used to do it too, and I realize everybody does this, is they'll show a picture on the news, and a guy's like a serial killer, and you look at him and go, oh yeah, guy looks like a serial killer. And you're like, we all look like serial killers if you know the
Yes.
answer, what he did, or a school shooter. You're like, you can tell that kid was going to be a school shooter. No, you can't. But it's once you know what they did and they put the picture up on TV, you go, oh yeah, I saw it all along. And I'll tell you right now, I don't see it. It's so funny to me that people are so quick to say, oh yeah, you can tell that guy's a serial killer. No.
Well, I find myself the quite opposite happening a lot too. Is they'll show a picture of somebody and I never would have guessed it.
That's smart.
I never would have guessed that one. Yeah, it just makes you more aware. I think I watch people's mannerisms and their words, and
Yeah.
I think I'm more of like an energy. I don't think I can see into people's souls through their eyes. I'll call it right now. I can't do it.
I always tell, my kid all the time, I say, the most awkward person at work, be nice to that guy. Because remember back in the day, you always hear someone going postal, I go,
Yeah.
be nice to that guy, because if that guy is the guy that's going to flip, I go, you don't want him going after you. You were nice to him, or nice to her, whatever. But at the same time, yeah, there's always that one awkward person at work. Always.
Yeah.
Here we go. Speaking of going dark, the next question, Nicole, if your best friend told you they murdered someone, would you keep it to yourself?
Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, this is layered. This is very
Yeah,
layered because
it is.
it's like,
It is.
who did they murder and why? Was it on purpose or was it an accident?
Would you want
Um,
details? Would you want details, or you just don't want to know anymore because now you feel like you're roped in?
I want to know the details and then I will decide whether I ever speak to them again or not, right?
Or turn them in?
Um, if it was like if first of all, I don't think I would be best friends with someone who's like, "Oh, I just walked up and slashed this innocent kid's throat." Like,
Yeah,
or
of
like I
course.
just killed for the fun of it. Like,
Let's
I
say
don't think
somebody
I
was
would.
walking in the dark and they ran over him with their car and just kept going.
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I would tell them you should turn yourself in, say it was an accident, and then I don't ever want to hear about it ever again. I
What if
don't.
they don't do it? What if you say, "Look, if I was you, I'd just turn yourself in. They're gonna find you," and they just don't. Now, what do you do?
I mean, whoa, that's something that you really have to be in the moment. I think I would
Yeah,
definitely put distance between myself and
yeah.
that
Oh,
person
yeah,
because
you
that's
would.
like not having a conscience, right?
Yeah,
Um, this is all relative. This is all very
yeah.
subjective. Yeah,
Also,
because
we've seen the movies. You've been in the movies. You know how it works. You're the only one that knows the secret. So now you're next. You got to go.
yeah, so you like keep them at an arm's distance.
Yeah,
That is so wild. What a
that's a
great
crazy
question.
question. Yeah,
That's a
it is.
crazy
It's a
question.
great
I
question.
think this is all just depends. If this was like somebody had done something really bad to my friend or their children or their family member, I
Yeah, of
probably would have their back and
course.
not say a thing. If it's something that was, mindless and should have been prevented or could be, fixed or like at least be held accountable with little to no recourse, I mean, I would encourage them to do so.
Do the right
Does that
thing.
answer
Got
the
it.
question? Yeah.
Yes. All right. Two more questions to go. Nicole, do you like espresso martinis?
Do you know I've only had one in my life, and I think
Really?
I did like it. Yeah, I love espresso. I'm not
Yeah.
big of a hard alcohol drinker. It's
Yeah.
not something that like I order ever. I don't even know the last time I've had a hard alcohol. But whenever I see them, I always think they're super pretty, and I love the idea of it because the one part that makes you sleepy, now you have the other part that that wakes you up, and things like chocolate and espresso and stuff like that tend to go good with like liquor.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
those taste profiles go well together. So I love the idea. The one things that I've heard is people doing espresso tequila martinis, and that seems like a hard pass for me. No, I don't think I would try that. But with vodka, I would try one of those again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal. I had my first one last summer, by the way. I was in Chicago. They have a 5-story Starbucks in Chicago. And if you go to the top and it's set up really nice, looks like a nice restaurant. It was outstanding. Like it
There's a
shocked me. I
Starbucks
really
that sells
enjoyed it.
it's a bar. It's a bar
Yeah.
Starbucks. Oh,
In Chicago.
interesting.
It
Fun.
was
Okay.
awesome. It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Okay.
it was pretty neat.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Last one. I'm curious about this one. Nicole, what's your favorite romantic comedy?
Um, um, I'm not sure. I've seen a lot of rom-coms lately. I would go straight back to Pretty in Pink. Like I feel like that was the one time I really cared if they
Yeah.
made it or not. There could be another one, but like none that I love so much that are popping to mind. But Pretty in Pink will always pop into my mind because it was at an age where it was relevant and I cared. And I also, you know what else I love? This is a silly one, but Overboard with Goldie Hawn.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great movie.
I love that movie.
Great movie. Yeah, I do too.
Is that a rom-com?
I
Is
think
that
it
a
is.
rom-com?
I think it
I think
absolutely
it
is.
is, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. It is.
Yeah, I love Overboard and I love Pretty in Pink. I just I rom-coms are a little bit like oh, Elf.
Oh. Yeah, that's funny.
He gets
That's
the girl.
funny.
He gets
Yes,
the cool
yes,
girl.
yes.
Yeah. So there's a few. There's a few,
That
but
is
I
that
really
is
loved them in the John Hughes days because I felt like they weren't so far out there that they were like I feel like some of the Jennifer Lopez and some of the Julia Roberts ones, they're a little bit like too fairy tale-y. I feel like when we take it back to like the John Hughes, it was more like they were in each other's circle. They were from the same area. They had the time to get to know each other. I don't know. There's something seems more organic and realistic about it than these like far-fetched. But that probably says a lot more about me than the movies. So yeah, that was
that's funny. They're two of my favorites. I would say it's the one Justin Timberlake and Mia Kunis. It's Friends with Benefits. Do you ever see this movie? It came out
I've
like in
never seen it.
2011. Great
Okay.
movie. For me, it was a great movie. But my favorite of all time is Notting Hill with Julia Roberts, who you just said.
Okay.
Okay. And have you ever seen that one? Notting Hill?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I found that one as one of my favorites. I hate to say it. I've watched it too many times. And people make fun of me all the time because I love that movie so much. But yes.
Okay, maybe I'll revisit it.
Okay,
I had a weird thing with him for a while when he got caught with the crack the crack hooker.
Yeah.
I looked at him a little bit differently. His like posh, cute English accent wasn't quite doing it for me anymore. I was like, "You're a dirty dog."
Yeah, right.
So,
That was crazy.
Yeah, which is fine if you're a dirty dog, but I like to know that in advance. I don't like it being disguised under this like this tie
and then I'm like,
English accent. Huh?
And in my head, I'm like, what's wrong with Elizabeth Hurley? Like, why would he do that? Like, then I'm like looking at her all different. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah,
it's nuts. I got a whole thing in my head with that.
You see who she's dating now. So now I do think she's with
who-
Billy Ray Cyrus, who
Oh
looks
my
like
God.
Hot Mess Express.
He is a hot mess.
Yeah.
Damn. What's going on with her?
I don't know. She likes it. She likes the dirty dogs.
Oh my God. Yeah, she can't. She doesn't know jack shit behind their eyes. I think she's worse at it than you and me. Good God.
For sure.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Madison,
for sure.
appreciate those questions. The one about murder was hilarious.
I know, Madison. That was amazing.
That was good. Perfectlytwistedpod.com again is the website. Nicole's mailbag is how you get in to ask those questions. But I appreciate everybody who gets them in, and we're going to get to we'll be more consistent in 2026. Make sure we get to all of them on the shows. It's always a time frame deal, but we try to get to your questions. But please keep bringing them in. We'll get to those.
Yeah,
but that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, that made the show fun. Thank you, Madison. Okay, well, we will catch you next week.